want to step out for a minute? I'll be right back.
And when you leave the room at this point, Detective, where are you going?
I believe I went to go interview Kristopher Cortes.
Would you say you were gone for approximately 45 minutes to an hour?
That sounds about right.
And let me ask you this, even though you're not in the room with her, is the video continuing to record everything that's taking place in the room that the defendant is in?
Yes, sir.
And are they bringing her refreshments, water, coffee, things of that nature?
Yes, sir. We're trying to be as hospitable as possible.
Now, you've had an opportunity to review this recorded interview.
Yes, sir.
What does she appear to be doing right now?
I'll put it on makeup, I believe.
Does it look like lipstick?
Yes, sir.
Sat down some of the course. Had a very interesting conversation. I don't know that you haven't been. We're at a point where sometimes things happen that are out of our control. And I talked to her, and I know that what she told me, I don't think she told me the truth in the beginning. But when she realized, because I haven't told you about the evidence that I have. I can't disclose all of it. But what I can tell you is that I've been told what happened. That she told me what really happened and what this is about. Right? I know exactly what this is about, and I understand what it's like to feel like maybe you're not good enough sometimes. I understand what it's like to want something that you can't have. I also know what it feels like to want something so bad that you're willing to do anything for it. Sometimes people do that for money. Sometimes people do that for attention. And sometimes people do that for love. Okay? And I understand those things. I understand how you felt or how you feel. I knew right away that your feelings for him are still there. Okay? And I still think he cares about you a lot because there's no reason that we share a phone like that if I don't care for you. Regardless of what's going on, we might can't be together for whatever reasons. Maybe you have a boyfriend while I'm single, or maybe I'm single, I have a girlfriend when you're single, but we still have this chemistry. And it's sometimes, even though people aren't good together, it's hard to separate. You know what I mean? So I know what this is about.
This conversation that you're having right now with the defendant, what are you trying to do with her?
I'm taking a different approach, redirecting my interview with her and strategically going back into bringing her to an emotional side with her connection with Ricardo. I'm trying to bring those emotions back to surface. Up until this point, she hasn't shown very much emotion during the interview.
And so what I'm asking you for is for the truth.
I mean, that's the truth. I was not driving.
Okay, I know you weren't driving. I know you weren't driving. I know who was driving. I know the person who was driving. Okay? And I know what happened. Okay? And I know what the agreement that you made.
There was no agreement. I mean,
No agreement.
no, I mean, that's all that. Like, I've been telling you everything.
There's no agreement between you.
There's, I mean, what did you say there's an agreement?
There is an agreement. There was an agreement made that you made
I didn't.
for an amount of money.
I didn't.
Okay. This is where we keep bumping heads in. The big thing here is the why. I knew what happened earlier. I just didn't know why. And the why is what you tell. Sometimes the why is just as important as the what. There's nothing that we can do right now to bring this young lady back alive. If I could do it, I would. But there's nothing that we can do. It's already one of those things that can't be changed. But the why is important because that changes a lot for you. Today is a very important day for you. I want you to understand that. I want you to understand how important today is for you. That this moment in time is very important. This day, this conversation, this moment right now, you will remember for the rest of your life. You will remember who I am. You will remember Detective Barnes. Just like I will remember you, Brenda Delgado. I will remember this conversation. This is going to be something that is probably the most important moment in your life. Single most important moment. And you have a very big decision to make. Sometimes, you know, when we get in certain situations in life, you have to decide, am I going to do the right thing? I probably didn't do the right thing before, but how is this decision going to impact the rest of my life? That's what you have to ask yourself. How do I want to be seen? That is very important. Am I a cold-hearted person? Or am I somebody that has had my heart broken? That's what you have to decide. Because a young lady lost her life. A young lady lost her life because of something that you participated in.
I did not. I didn't. Like, that's what the story that I'm telling you. This is not.
Do you really expect for me or for anybody else to believe that this girl is dating this guy that you're still in love with, that's probably going to marry this guy that you're still in love with? Do you expect the world to believe that you had nothing to do with this? That you didn't have anything at all? Even though you made an arrangement for this young lady to get in this vehicle. You set that up.
No.
You set that up. You set this plan in motion. It starts because you make this phone call. You started it. Everything is started by you. And I can prove that through phone records. I can prove that through your testimonies. You set this ball in motion. I'm not asking you what she did, because I know what she did. And I'm going to prove what she did. I'm not asking you what she did. I'm asking you why. Because that is the single most important thing. I can't understand why somebody would kill someone else. I've never killed anybody. But I have had my heart broken. And I know what it feels like. There's not a person in this world that hasn't gone through that kind of pain. Now, I can't tell you what was going through your head. I have a good idea, but I can't be a translator for your pain. This moment for you is important for you to tell the why. Because people are going to know. Think about the people that are close to you. Think about the people that are important to you. They are going to want to know why you were caught up in this situation. That's what's going to be important to them, is the why. But if you let Crystal tell it, it's going to come out totally different. Because Crystal is here for Crystal right now. Crystal is here for her baby right now. She's not here for you. She came down here because she didn't know what you were going to say about her. She was right about one thing that you said, that I'm not the driver. But she's got a very strong description of how she ended up in your friend's car. This guy that grew up with you, that you knew very well. She's got a very good description of how she ended up in that car and how she ended up in that garage that belongs to this young lady that's dating your ex-boyfriend, that you still talk to all the time, that you still converse with and share moments with. Yes. And it's not going to take people a whole lot. This isn't rocket science. People will put this together very fast. That's why I'm asking you, why?
No, I'm telling you. I didn't do anything. I have no motive. I have no motive.
You have plenty of motive. There's plenty of motive. You want me to explain to you what motive is? Because you may not know the definition of motive. Motive is what drives something. What drives you? Sometimes it's hate. Sometimes it's love. Sometimes it's greed. In this situation, I don't think it was greed. I think it was hate. I think you hated the fact that you weren't good enough. That's the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. You weren't good enough for Ricky. Maybe he didn't like the way you looked.
I didn't.
Maybe something you did got on his nerves. Maybe he didn't want a dental hygienist anymore. Maybe he wanted a dentist. Maybe you just weren't good enough for him. Maybe his standards were a little bit too high for you. But for whatever reason, you weren't good enough for him. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It is very hard to swallow. For you to be able to look in the mirror and say, what is it that she has that I don't have? Maybe he didn't like the fact that your parents weren't well off. Maybe he didn't want to grow from Pleasant Grove. And it hurts.
I mean, I don't have any feelings like you were saying. I really don't have any. Like, I didn't even know who the girl was. I had no idea.
That's not true. You know who his girlfriend is. Just like you knew where he was taking his salsa lessons at because you followed him.
I didn't.
Yes, you have.
I haven't.
You have followed him before. You have followed him before. This is not your first time. This is not you. There's no accident. You told her where to go. You told her where she was going to be at. I mean, do you really think this is gonna be the best route for you?
I mean,
Do you? I'm just asking.
I never followed him.
Do you?
Never followed him. Just been busy, with my studies. I've never followed him.
Do you really think that people aren't figuring out what's going on? Do you really think Luis doesn't know that you asked for his car for a reason? Do you really think that? Do you really think he's gonna stand down here and say, this is what happened for her? No, Luis is not gonna do that for you. Luis is taking care of Luis. Crystal is taking care of Crystal. Who is taking care of you right now? It's not you. It's not you. I came in here to give you an opportunity. I really don't think you understand how important this is for you right now. This is very important. The only way to cover up a lie is to keep telling lies. And I don't know how all these things, I have my own beliefs about how the world works, how things end up, what happens from people from this point on. You know, and the worst thing you can do when you make a mistake is keep making mistakes. That's the worst thing that you can do. Because it doesn't hurt me. It's only hurting you. And hurt the people that care about you and love you. This is a bad story. Now, I don't know whether it was meant to be for someone to get killed. I don't know that. But there was a plan. There was a plan.
There was no plan, I'm telling you.
There was a plan. You're not telling me that. You're not telling me that there was no plan. Because I know that there was. It adds up. It matches. So here's what your story is. This is what I'm getting out of your story. So I go and I meet up with this girl that is going to take care of this deal for me. Because that's what you did. You met up with Crystal. You and Crystal go over to Luis's shop. Crystal is the one that's going to make this thing happen. Luis is providing a vehicle. Your alibi is I'm studying and I'm at Chili's. The business happens, you meet up immediately after with her. Luis takes you over there. You meet up at the house. You meet up at Luis's house with them. Do you really think that somebody's going to believe that all of these phone calls that are going back and forth, all of these meetings that happen between you and her, do you really think people are going to believe that you just had nothing to do with this at all? All of this is revolving around you. All of this is revolving around you. This whole thing. And it's all over something that you couldn't have.
Honestly, I'm telling you, there was no plan. There's nothing. There's nothing that. There's no motive. I have no reason.
Oh, there's plenty of motive. There's plenty of motive. You cannot have him as long as she's alive.
That's not true.
That is very true. He didn't want to be with you. If he had his choice right now, he still wouldn't want to be with you. You simply are not what he wants out of life. And it's hard for you to understand that. So, and I think you understood. I think you got to the point whenever the phones got separated that this is it. This is it. Something has to happen because without me being able to, this is the last blow. He's leaving in a month.
No, I mean, that did not, like, honestly, I'm telling you, I was fine with anything. I didn't. The phone call, we already talked about separating phones. It just never happened. It just took time.
Took time. So what do you think? Your friend Crystal, what do you think she has to say?
I don't know.
What do you think Crystal has to say about all this?
I don't know.
I think you do. I think you do. Because Crystal has a lot to lose. Crystal has a lot to lose behind this. She tried to lie. But when she realized that there's no way out of that, she told the truth. What do you think your parents would tell you right now?
I mean, it's...
What do you think they would say?
I mean, that's not me. That's not...
They would say this.
That's not...
I don't believe you're a bad person. I don't believe you're a bad person. But you know what? Once you've been stomped on, you feel like you've been hurt. I mean, you run out of options. Everybody has feelings, and everybody has a point where they break. Everybody has a wall, and that's what I think happened. I think you just dealt with enough of your shit.
I mean, like I'm saying, it was just very casual.
Casual doesn't end up with somebody dead.
I didn't know. I'm
That's not casual. I've talked to several people that's had conversations with you, and they very specifically told me that you have said several times that he is the right person for you. That's what I've been told. And I don't think people would have any reason to lie about your relationship with him.
No, I never, ever thought we were gonna stay together, it was just a very...
So you just stayed with him for 2.5 years. How old are you?
I'm 33.
33. These are the glory years for women. Because you don't look as good as you're going to look when you're 28, 29. Those are some of your best years. You don't waste this time. Your internal clock is ticking. It's either make some things happen now, because life is going to take over, and I'm not going to look as good as I used to look. I need to make something happen now. If I'm going to get married, it has to happen soon. So this guy took up 2 years of your life. 2 years of your best years. Slept in your bed. Shared moments with you, looked in your eyes, told you all these things, that at the end of the day, as soon as he got his license, he moved on. And I'm pretty sure you were there supporting him through all of it. You probably looked at that as an accomplishment for you too, because I know what it's like to kind of help somebody get to a certain point in their life. Now he's reached a certain status and he's moved on. But you still remember what he was like when he was struggling.
It was just a very, it wasn't like a fight or anything. We just kind of gave each other time.
So whose decision was it?
There's no reason.
Whose decision was it at your time?
It was Ricardo's.
If it was up to you, would you have taken time?
I've asked him for time before, yeah.
No, but at that moment.
If I asked him if I wanted to have time off with him, I mean, yes or no. I think it was more of a figure out what's the next step as far as, in our relationship, moving forward or not.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I probably would.
So it was a point where you guys had to figure out what the next step was. And so while you're figuring out your next step, Ricardo moves on and starts dating other women. And it hurts.
I dated too.
Right. I mean, of course, you're not going to sit at home and sulk about him when he's out doing all of this stuff.
And I didn't follow him, to wherever he was.
Well, that's what he told me.
No. I met the guy that saw the instructor, a week, and then he happened to be an instructor at the location.
And so, just weird luck and coincidence, he just happened to be there at the same time you showed up.
No, I met the guy that saw the instructor a week before, and he gave me his card to go to the salsa place.
And then and Ricardo just happened to be there when you showed up.
And then he came, and Ricardo came.
So you guys just luckily happened to be at the same place. Just like this girl, just like Luis just luckily let Crystal borrow his black Jeep. Just like Crystal luckily wound up at 1700 Cedar Springs. Just like Kendra luckily pulled up while Crystal was sitting in the garage waiting to take care of some business for an agreement that she made with you.
She didn't like me giving business.
Yes. Yes. Crystal has no reason to want her dad. You know who has the motive? You know Crystal's motive was? To make some money to feed her kid. And I can understand that. I can understand what it's like. You took advantage of this young girl.
No.
Yes, you did. You took advantage of her because she's struggling. She has bills to feed, bills to pay, kids to feed. You took advantage of that.
No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You took advantage of her. And you paid her to do your dirty work. And so what you do, I'm in Carrollton. I'm sitting in Carrollton. I'm here waiting at this Chili's. Oh, let me go talk to this waitress so she can remember me. Can I borrow your phone charger? So now she has a visual of who you are. And so I hang on to that receipt because this is my alibi.
No, I have more receipts.
I have plenty of receipts, but you didn't have one from Fuzzy's?
I do. It's not here.
It's not here. You didn't bring it with you today. But you made it a point to keep the one from Chili's. Same day, same car, but you have the receipt. I want to make sure I pay with my card so they can go back and trace this transaction. But at the same time, this young lady is fighting for her life on the cold floor of a parking garage. See, this is not how you planned it. This is not what you thought was going to happen. You thought that maybe some point later, that if she is not in the picture anymore, that maybe you guys will get back together.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what the plan was. That's what the plan was. That's not what's going to happen, though.
No, that's not true. I told you it was just very casual. I have no motives for this guy.
No motives for who?
For Ricky, there's nothing. There's nothing there. There's no motive.
So why do you want his girlfriend dead?
I don't. I didn't even know who he was seeing. I don't even know who he was dating.
Okay. You don't know. You don't know. Let's see.
Now, Detective Barnes, this interview or conversation with...
Sorry, is that the end of the tape?
For
Do you want the lights on?
Yes, that'll be fine.
this conversation that you're having with the defendant is on September the 4th.
Yes, sir.
The offense date is September the 2nd.
Yes, sir.
How much sleep had you had by the time you sit down with her?
Not much.
Elements. Requested your be instructed to disregard the.
You know, this last bit of exchange with her, you have told her that Crystal has told the truth.
That's correct.
Did you believe Crystal was telling you the truth about Crystal, she being the driver?
Objection to relevant speculation and form free.
Denied.
Yes, I believe that.
Did you believe everything Crystal was telling you at this point?
No, I didn't.
Objections.
You have a running objection, Mr. Miller.
No, I didn't believe everything. I did believe certain parts of it that I could actually corroborate. Normally when people come in and we question them
Objection
about how much...
responsive at this point.
Same.
So when people come in and you're trying to corroborate an offense, what do?
We look for all the facts that we can either prove or disprove what they're saying. And you keep in mind the statements they make, but if you don't have anything to corroborate it, and you just leave it out there, but you cling to the facts that you're actually able to prove.
So at this point, what we're about to see is after 2 hours, approximately 2 hours of your interview, Ms. Delgado.
Yes.
What do we hear her say right there?
Oh, fuck.
Thank you, Judge.
Is that it?
Yes.
As part of your investigation, Detective, were you able to get an address for where the defendant was living?
Yes, sir.
And as part of your investigation, would you normally expect to get a search warrant and take a look at that apartment?
Yes, sir. If we have any links to the apartment, we would.
And in fact, did you get a search warrant and search Ms. Delgado's apartment?
Yes, we did.
Do you recall where that apartment was located?
It was on Washington Street.
Is that inside the city of Dallas?
Yes, sir.
Dallas County?
Yes, sir.
State of Texas?
Yes, sir.
Approach the witness, Your Honor. Show you what's marked as State's Exhibits 395, 396, 397, 398, 399, 400, 401, 402, 403, 404, and 405. You take a look at these photographs, see if you recognize what's depicted inside those photographs.
Yes, sir. This is the inside of Brenda Delgado's apartment. And these are the photographs that were taken prior to our search.
Your Honor, we'd offer States 395, room 405.
No objection.
Admitted.
Mr. Bowles.
You may.
States 395, what are we looking at?
This is an outside shot of the Hugh Apartments that Ms. Delgado resided at.
And that is located where?
Washington, on Washington Street.
396?
This is an inside photo of Ms. Delgado's living room.
Now, what is the purpose, or what were you trying to accomplish by doing this search?
We're looking for any evidence or links to the crime. There was information that there may have been trackers. There was information that cell phones were involved. So we were looking at anything that we could link Ms. Delgado to the crime.
397?
This is a shot of the inside of her apartment looking into the kitchen.
398?
This is a screenshot of, or a picture of the kitchen counter inside her residence.
And 399? 400?
This is another shot of the kitchen inside the residence.
States 401?
This is another shot of the interior of the living room.
These photographs, are they showing that you basically went through every room in that apartment?
Yes, sir.
402?
Another angle of the living room.
403?
A shot of the bedroom.
404?
A picture of her closet.
That closet appeared to be pretty much full of clothes.
Yes, sir.
405?
This is the bathroom counter.
Now, at the time you're doing this search, Ms. Delgado is not in custody, is she?
Yes, she is.
And you were looking for trackers and cell phones. Did you find any trackers?
No, sir.
Approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Show you states 406. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is 406?
It is a picture of a Chase ATM bank receipt.
And what is the date on that bank receipt?
August 28, 2015.
In states 407, do you recognize this?
Yes.
Is it a picture of the defendant at an ATM machine?
Yes.
Is it also dated August the 28th?
Yes.
And what type of vehicle does she appear to be in?
Mustang.
All right, we'd offer states 406 and 407.
Commissioner, take a moment, Blair. 406, did you take a picture of that from her apartment?
Yes.
All right. No objection to 406. Objection on 407, lack of foundation, no personal knowledge, as well as hearsay and Sixth Amendment, 14th Amendment confrontation.
Overruled, admitted.
Commissioner approach.
The bench?
Yes, sure.
Yes. All right. 406 is admitted, 407 is not admitted.
Showing you 406, what is the amount of money that was withdrawn on that date?
$500.
Now, when you do a search warrant, you take things out of her apartment, do you have to leave notice of what you've taken?
Yes.
And documentation of what you've taken, and leave that behind
Yes.
for the resident to basically have a receipt of what was taken?
That's correct.
Did you ever hear back from Ms. Delgado with respect to those items that were taken?
No, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem.
You may.
Show you States Exhibit 90 and States Exhibit 408. States Exhibit 90, get an opportunity to review the security camera from across the street from Jose Luis Ortiz's house.
Yes, sir.
And is this a copy of that recording?
Yes.
All right, we'd offer States Exhibit 90 for record purposes and States 408 for all purposes.
I'm sorry, 408 is what?
For all purposes, Your
No,
Honor.
what is 408?
It is a copy of the security camera from across the street from Mr. Ortiz's house.
Is that what we've already shown?
It's two segments.
Is that something, I'm sorry.
It's two separate segments. No, we've not shown that.
Okay. Any objection?
No objection to 90 for record purposes.
Admitted.
Objection to 408 as to lack of personal knowledge, and as well as hearsay and 14th Amendment confrontation.
Overruled.
Now, during your interview with Ms. Delgado, several times does she state that she went straight from Chili's to her house?
Yes, sir.
we have evidence now that shows that not to be true.
That's correct.
Additionally, there's evidence that the day after this offense, you find evidence the day after this offense that Ms. Delgado attempted to have Mr. Ortiz paint the vehicle.
Yes.
And there was a conversation about having a beard.
Yes.
And do we see in States 408, do we see, or will we see evidence that she was at his place for approximately an hour?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Publish? Stage
Is this
4.
an hour-long video?
No,
No, we're not.
Okay.
No.
Now, this is a camera. What do we see right there, Detective?
That is Miss Delgado's white Lexus pulling up, parking in front of Mr. Luis Ortiz's home.
And the date on this is what?
September 3rd, 2015.
And the time?
2258, which is going to be 1058.
Would this be after they went and got there?
I'm not sure.
At 23:05, do you see a figure walking across the street?
But yeah, yes, I do, with some light colored clothing approaching the driveway.
And do we see that figure coming back?
Yes, sir.
Now, when she is talking to you about being at his place on this date, did she tell you the conversation was just about getting her car fixed?
Yes, sir.
At 23:38, what do we see now?
We see that same silhouette from earlier approaching the driveway again.
And this is almost 40 minutes into the conversation about getting my car fixed.
Yes, sir.
And now do we see that same figure walking back to the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Again, do we see a figure leaving that vehicle?
Yes, sir.
At 23:46. And what is that vehicle doing now?
It's reversing back in front of the driveway in front of Mr. Ortiz's home.
And Mr. Ortiz lives across the street from this camera?
Yes, where the silhouette was approaching.
Now, we've heard a lot of talk about the Lexus and how it doesn't work. Is this the same vehicle that supposedly doesn't work?
Yes, sir.
You see moving at the top of that screen?
Yes, sir.
And where do they look to be going to?
Silhouette is going to the suspect vehicle that was used in the murder.
And you see a vehicle at the top of the screen?
Yes, sir.
What does it appear to be doing?
The vehicle is leaving the residence.
At 2348, what is the Lexus doing?
The Lexus is leaving in tandem with the murder vehicle.
Now, the next timestamp is what?
September 4th, 2015 at 12:45 a.m.
We see that Lexus again at this point.
Yes, sir.
What do we see happening here?
We see an individual with the light colored clothing approaching the residence and locking the doors to the Lexus.
So Detective Barnes, after 2 hours with the defendant, did you have enough evidence to issue a warrant for her arrest?
No, I didn't.
Had you completed the cell phone dump on her cell phone?
Yes.
Had you had an opportunity to go through that cell phone?
No, I didn't.
Did you later find that there was evidence of plans being made to try and buy a silencer? It was recorded on her cell phone.
Objection, leading as a witness.
Sustained.
On her cell phone, were there plans to buy a silencer?
Yes.
And ultimately, as you developed more evidence, did you file charges on this Delgado?
Yes, I did.
For what?
Capital murder.
Absolutely.
When you asked about the Lexus, the talk about the Lexus was repairs on the Lexus, correct?
There was talks about mechanical issues as well as cosmetic.
No one ever said the Lexus does not run, did they?
I don't remember those exact words, no.
Well, in any words, no one ever said the Lexus has to be towed, will not start, will not drive. No one ever said anything like that, correct?
No, sir.
When you were talking to her, she did tell you about having a beer
Yes.
with him?
Yes, sir.
Would it be a true statement that people lie to the police?
All the time.
Would it be a true statement that people lie to the police even when they're not involved?
Yes, sir.
You asked her during that interview whether you asked her where she was born. She said Mexico. She was legally here in the United States, wasn't she?
Yes.
When you had interviewed Ricky, the interview of him was somewhat similar to what we see here, to a room recording. You're sitting there, he's sitting there, that kind of thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Just like you did with Brenda, at one point in time, you asked Ricky, can I examine your phone? Can I see your phone and go through it? Something of that nature, right?
Yes, sir.
When you did that with Brenda, Brenda said yes, correct?
Yes.
When you asked her, will you sign a written consent to search, Brenda signed it, didn't she?
Yes.
Ricky didn't do any of those things, did he?
He did. He provided his phone, but it was at a later time. Or he agreed to provide it at a later time.
Did you ever do a dump on that?
No, I didn't.
All right. In any event, when you're in the interview, he's him-hawing around and won't let you search his phone, will he?
He had some concerns.
Well, there was a lot of discussion about why he wouldn't do it, correct?
Yes.
And at one point in time, did you tell him words to the effect, so look, it's making me very suspicious why there's some issue with this phone? Did you say anything to that effect?
I don't remember what my wording was.
Well, did you say something to that effect?
I can't agree. At this time, I don't remember what my wording was. So I can't agree to that and say that's what I said because I don't know.
Well, do you recall saying anything along those lines?
Again, I can't. I don't know what the exact wording was or what it was along those lines. That's what I normally do. I would normally try to encourage someone to and try to figure out why they would, what the reasoning is. But on that specific incident, I don't remember what the wording was.
Earlier testimony, you said he asked you about something when you were conducting the search of Brenda Delgado's apartment. He asked you if she was in custody. You said yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. But you said just the last few questions that you did not charge her with capital murder, correct?
That's correct.
All right. The only thing when you said in custody, she had an outstanding unpaid traffic ticket, and y'all arrested her for that, correct?
That's correct.
She was then taken from where you were, most patrol officers, Dallas County Jail, correct?
That's correct.
She would have gotten out sometime the next day, depending upon when she paid the fine, correct?
Yes, she got out on September 5th at approximately 10:59 p.m.
No questions? No further questions, I'm sorry.
Anything further, Mr. Price?
There you go.
Thank you, Detective. You may stand down and free to leave the courthouse.
Thank you.
Rear approach, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Is the Emmy here?
Yes.
We're on the record outside the presence of the jury, Mr. Brooks.
Our state intends to offer State's Exhibit 233, which is the identified photograph of the deceased, number IFS-15-14219. It is our understanding that the defense counsel has agreed to stipulate that this is one and the same person, individual who the autopsy was conducted.
The defendant will stipulate, has no objection to the exhibit for record purposes.
Thank you. Off the record.
And also
Back on the
that
record.
this is Kendra Hatcher.
Defendant will stipulate that the photograph identified as the state exhibit number that he identified, 231, 232, this one is 233. States Exhibit 233 is a photograph of Kendra Hatcher, who's one and the same named as the deceased in the indictment.
Thank you. Anything further from your side?
No. What is our break time?
5 minutes after.
I have too many 9 volts. Too bad you don't need a 9 volt. Now these are double A's. And these new mics we have only take one at a time, so they don't last long. It's awful. Usually put fresh batteries in and not change them until lunch.